Hello everyone, Tina here. I hope your day is going wonderful. I'm so glad you're joining me. Well, I have a fun project to share with you. Today we are using the SSS Stamp February 2026 card kit. It's called Be Your Beautiful Self. I had created this project over at SSS Stamp's YouTube channel, so if you saw this already, you may want to skip it or watch it again, who knows. But I always like to share the video that I created for Simon over here on my channel because it gives you more inspiration, and again, in case you missed it, I just like to play it over here too. I'm so excited about this kit because we can make an easy card because Simon did the layout for us. I just love it. So we're going to be using the Artful palette stencil set, one of the stencils in here, along with the coordinating dies. In our kit this month we have the Be Your Beautiful Self stamp set. This is where we're going to be using our greeting. I do have the coordinating die that goes with the Be Your Beautiful Self stamp set, so we're going to be using this to cut out our greeting. This is not necessarily, but it is handy to have. We have the Tim Holtz pattern papers that are just amazing. I'm going to be using this one that kind of has a ledger on it. This is the back side, but we're going to be using this side on it. We have the rose gold metallic cardstock we're going to be using, along with Simon's premium vellum, and we're going to be using the ivory cardstock in here. Although if you wanted to switch out the ivory for the cream is a little bit darker, you could be you can create the same card using that. So, and then I'm also going to be using the archival ink that came with our kit to stamp our greeting. So everything in the kit, with the exception of some embellishments. I may bring in some sequins or some Simon Pawsitively Dazzling gems. We'll see what we'll use when we get to that point. So let's jump in and create a card. Today we're going to be using this stencil from our Artful palette stencil set. I just love it. Simon's name is indexed on the bottom. Okay, I mentioned that because we're going to actually be flipping this around to create our card project, which I just love. The nice thing about these stencils is you can go right side up, upside down, horizontal, vertical, and you can actually flip it over too. So lots of options with these. I just love it. So find Simon's name and just rotate it to where Simon's name is upside down on the top. This is the one we're going to be using in the layout that we're going to use today. I also want to mention that each of these squares are numbered and the dies are numbered, so you know exactly which die goes with what block. I just love this. So we have number 4, which is this one. We have number 6 is this one. And then we have number 1, which is this one. I need 1 of these. I need 2 of the smaller squares and 3 of these rectangles here. Okay, I mentioned that because we're going to be doing some die cutting with the vellum and with our rose gold mirror cardstock. And then I'm also going to be doing some die cutting with this sheet too. Okay, so all of these blocks we're going to cut out 3 times with each of these papers. Okay, I'm going to do that and I will be right back. My die cutting is all done. Okay, and I did do a little extra die cutting also. In our kit there was the circle set. I took the 2 largest and die cut out the largest with the ivory cardstock. And then I took the next size under this one and die cut it out with the rose gold cardstock. And then I have 2 hearts. One I cut out with the pattern paper and then one I cut out with vellum. And then I have a 1/4 inch strip, maybe a little bit larger than 1/4 inch. I trimmed out from our pattern paper. Okay, so a little extra die cutting and trimming. I also want to mention that when you do die cut out using your pattern paper, you want to make sure that your orientation, since there are letters and numbers on here, make sure your orientation coordinates with the orientation on your stencil. For example, this one goes horizontal and this one goes horizontal, whereas this one will go vertical when you do your die cutting. Okay, I just wanted to mention that. With the ivory cardstock, I already created a side folding card base. I just trimmed it in half and then scored it 4 1/4 to make my card base. I'm going to bring in my paper trimmer and I'm going to trim just a little bit, maybe a little less than 1/4 inch off this edge here on my card base. So let's do that. Just put this in here and take a little less than 1/4 inch off. About that much. And then this is where the strip's going to come in. I'm just going to add a little bit of my glue and attach this strip on the inside of my card base. And then we will just layer this. So we just added a little bit of color without taking off too much from our card base. I also want to mention that today I'm using this pattern paper, but if you wanted to switch this out, use the reverse side, you very well could for our card today. If you want to use these pattern papers, any pattern papers that were in our kit, just switch out and you can do the same exact thing with. But I just like the soft color palette of this. Now what we're going to do is take our stencil. Again, Simon's name is indexed here on the bottom left. Flip it around to where it's upside down on the top right. Now we're going to take this and we're going to layer this on the front of our card base. Since we trimmed a little bit off, you're going to have to center it. Okay, so we're just going to center this. I'm going to use my magnets to help hold this down, just so it doesn't go anywhere. Okay, and what we're going to do is inlay our rose gold cardstock. So we're just going to add a little bit of glue. And then this one will go in here. And then I'm going to continue, and you can actually add glue on the inside of here if you wanted to. I just wouldn't hit the stencil. This might be easier. Give that a second to grab. And our placement is perfect. We just remove our stencil. You can't get any easier than this. I just love it. Wonderful. Now with these blocks of vellum and pattern paper, we're going to layer on here. But of course we need to do something a little bit different so you can see all three. And for today's card, we're going to do some paper tearing. Paper tearing is super fun. It adds a distressed look. We're going to tear the vellum, and then we're also going to tear the pattern paper. The vellum is going to go behind the pattern paper. So when you tear, for example, I'm just going to tear just like this. And this doesn't have to be perfect. So that's this piece. And then with the pattern paper, I want to make sure that the pattern paper is going to go below that tear that we just did. And you can layer it on top. It's nice if you can see the white on the pattern paper. This is a little too This is a little too boxy for me, so I'm just going to tear a little bit more. That's the beauty of the paper. I'm going to use my tape runner for this part, and we're just going to layer this. So we have these two layered together, and then I want to add some more adhesive behind here, and we're going to layer this right over the rose gold cardstock. We're going to add some texture to each one of these blocks. Now I just finished up with all of my blocks. I also want to do, just to add a little bit of texture to my card, we're going to flip over a few of the ends of the cardstock. So we have a little bit of a fold here. So now we have a little bit of extra or added texture to each of those windows without the extra bulk. Now with these pieces here, we're going to layer them together. We'll use our glue for this. I'm going to layer the rose gold over the ivory cardstock. You could even use the Nina cardstock that came in our kit to do this also. Now with the hearts here, I'm going to add a little glue, and then I'm going to add it to the vellum heart right down the middle, and then we're going to add this to the center of these circles. Our kit this month came with some foam squares. Just so my heart doesn't flatten, I'm going to add some foam squares behind each side. And this is just going to give a little dimension to our heart. I'll flip this over. The foam squares that came with my kit are the lower profile foam squares. So it's not really that bulky. But if you have a higher profile foam square, you may want to skip putting foam tape behind here and just gluing this to the center of your card base, which I'm going to do right now. I'm going to put this right down the center here. Okay, now we need a greeting. So in our stamp set, The greeting that I'm using today will be the Do What You Love. It has a typewritten print, and I just think it's going to work perfect for my card today. So let's go ahead and take this. I do have the coordinating die, so I'll be using the coordinating die to cut out my greeting. And let's use the archival ink to stamp it. Okay, we'll just go over Do What You Love. And then we'll stamp this here. And then I will cut this out using the coordinating die set. And I will be right back. This greeting is going to go directly in the center of that heart. We'll just glue this right down the middle. For finishing touches, I'm bringing in some of my Simon Says Stamp Pawsitively Dazzling gems. This is Prism, so I think it's going to pick up that rose gold just beautifully. We're going to go ahead and add a little bit of sparkle to our background. I'm also going to bring in one more item. I have some white twine. This one happens to be from Fawn, and I think we need a little added texture. So what I'm going to do is just tie a bow up here. I left the tails a little bit long. They kind of wrapped underneath the heart. I kind of like that look, but we have a little added texture. So we have the shine of the Pawsitively Dazzling gems, some shine and sparkle with the rose gold cardstock, a fun unique opening, and that's my project for today. I hope this gives you a little bit of inspiration using the Simon Says Stamp February 2026 card kit called Be Your Beautiful Self. The card kit's amazing, and again, you can try different layouts. There's 5 different stencils in here, so you can have a blast, switch out your pattern papers, and do some paper tearing. Have a wonderful day. Thanks so much for joining us. Bye-bye. Thanks so much for sticking with me to the end. I have 2 more videos that you guys might be interested here. If you guys are new and like the content that you see, click that subscribe button and also the notification bell. That way for future videos, be notified. Also, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. It sure does help the channel. Have a wonderful day. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.